Alright folks, we're back again with this time a little bit of a different review. I'm reviewing the Meprolite bullseye, and this is on the H&K sdp9. Alright, we're going to talk about some of the benefits and differences. Now you can see that's right at the top there. So, mounts the gun nicely. I had to get a buddy with the proper tools to push it into place. It needed a little bit of sanding, a little tiny bit, to get it on perfect. So we're going to talk about the benefits and detractors of this. Now, one thing you'll notice is I kept the front sight, and at first I didn't want to do it, but my buddy, who is in one of those regiments that will not be named, said, no, leave it on. I thought he was just being lazy. He says, well, you're going to be able to use this pistol, and then when you do, the front sight will be able to get you on target quicker, as you can see, and then boom, find the green dot. Now, this has tritium, radioactive material, and it has what I call an optic on the back. It's basically a polished lens that is also enhanced by fiber optics. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Okay. Now, this works great at night. It works great in many conditions. Where it doesn't work well is in one part of the range that I go to. There's overhead fluorescent lights, and there's a bit of a shine, a bit of a reflection on the back of that optic there. So it's hard to find. You're aiming at white paper, and you got this thing, and then there's like basically a big, huge white square left from the fluorescent light lamps on it. This is an oddball situation, and all I have to do is move about 5 feet forward, and that disappears. And plus, your body creates a shadow and reduces that reflection that's on the rear optic. You do not need a front optic. Here's the top of it. Basically, use a micrometer to make sure that you've, or what do you want to call it, a caliper, to make sure that it's centered. All right. It will take time to get used to this. You'll also, if you wear glasses, it might not be right for you. If you have any kind of issue with nearsightedness, it might not be right for you. You have to, I would say, try somebody else's. Now, here's the thing. If you're in law enforcement, you do not want this green dot. Why? I discovered this. Flashing police lights are often red and blue. What's the opposite color of green is red, and the green dot and circle completely disappear when the red lights flash. So this causes an issue. It causes pure blackness. Now, that being said, I don't know how many incidents you're going to be in where you got police lights going and you have to pull your weapon, and it's probably might not be right for law enforcement, period, or even approved realistically. That being said, I'll tell you right now, at night it's fantastic. It's a great, let's face it, those glowing green dots on sights just completely disappear. If they're not charged, become useless. This never does. You need about 500 rounds downrange to get used to this optic. I'm at the point now where my brain just automatically processes this thing, and I'm, on target most of the time. This is not good if you're doing, some kind of like target shooting or you're, like you're doing marksmanship. That's not what it's for. Your groups are going to be, let's say 1 inch to 6 inches wide with it. Now, that being said, I'm also used to using a CZ Shadow, which I find is a bit more of an accurate pistol with a better trigger. This is now breaking in. This pistol here is getting better and better. But I've been shooting with some of those guys from the unnamed regiment quite a bit, doing drills, carbine, pistol, and I find this is excellent, man. I get right on, boom. And it's like your brain is subconsciously seeing the dot, and you know when to pull the trigger. That could just be me. Being a photographer, I, have a way with optics and instinctive shooting. All right. So as for this, yes, I do recommend it. if this is your only pistol or gun, no, I do not recommend it. Stick with the regular sights. If you're new to shooting, stick with the regular sights. Would this be fantastic for home defense? Absolutely. All right. Outside, inside, bright, dark, it's fine. Some dynamic lighting might cause an issue if you're in the basement and you're aiming out the window for some reason. To bright daylight, yes, it can seem to disappear a little bit, but give me a break, right? So, yes, I do recommend it. If you have more than one slide for a gun, maybe it's what you want. You can switch between that and regular open sights. But like I said, if you're doing law enforcement, do not choose a green. It will disappear with your red flashing police lights. And it offers something different. I enjoy it now. At first I was like, fuck, I gotta get this off my gun. This is like shit. And, and now I'm like, hey man, I kind of like this. So something to think about. $200, yeah. Low profile. It's stiff. It's strong. And it does work. I would, if you're American, highly recommend it for home defense. If you're here in Canada, that's illegal. Don't do that ever. I'm serious about that. All right, so that's my review. I know it's kind of a choppy review and whatnot, but it's a unique product. I know they make them for a Glock, the H&K. There's a couple of others. I think Smith & Wesson. I would have as an option, if you have more than one slide. But, as for your only optic, no. And it's not for everybody. Test it out. Try it. All right? That's my review. $200. Green and red is what it comes in. I'm liking it so far, but my brain has been able to, instinctively see the green dot and I pull the trigger. I'm not the average shooter. I'm not to toot my own horn. I'm actually pretty damn good. So, I like it. But I would say try it out. And if you have glasses, it may be an issue. And ask yourself, where are you doing this shooting? If you're just in some, inside range, don't even bother. Stick with, regular sights. Do your drills. Learn the basics. If you got a whole arsenal and, maybe this is a nice little option for you. All right?